Hi, I thought I would do an update because I just completed another step on the way to determining if I'm an eligible candidate for donating my kidney anonymously. So today I had a meeting with a psychiatrist, which I guess like every person who wants to donate a kidney anonymously has to meet with like specific people, including a social worker, which I already met with, a psychiatrist, which I met with today, and then a nephrologist, and then they start the medical tests to make sure that like medically they're healthy enough to donate a kidney. So today was the psychiatrist thing, and I was sort of like nervous before going to the psychiatrist because I haven't seen a psychiatrist since like 2012, I think, March 2012. And that was like for my like depression and anxiety issues. And so today when I went to a psychiatrist, like it wasn't for my depression and anxiety, it was for something totally different. But it's sort of like when I was waiting in the waiting room, it like reminded me of when I would like sit in the waiting room waiting to see my psychiatrist, like back when I needed a psychiatrist. And it was a different hospital, like it was so a different waiting room stuff, but it just like brought back the memories. And it was like sort of like, I don't know, I had like really weird feelings, like I wasn't like completely sure like what I don't know, it was weird being back in the waiting room and stuff. And I was like all prepared to like go in like all confident and stuff and talk to the psychiatrist like exactly about why I wanted to donate a kidney and why I'm not crazy, and like et cetera, et cetera. But then like once he called me in, like I had been waiting in the waiting room for like 30 minutes, I think. He was like 30 minutes late. That time in the waiting room of like 30 minutes, I don't know, it just gave me a lot. It gave me like way too much time to just like sort of think, and like I guess like a lot of memories were brought up. And so by the time he actually called me back, I was kind of like, hi, and like really like scared, and like really nervous and stuff. He would like ask questions about like that you would expect, like questions like why do you want to donate a kidney? Like it's kind of like sort of a big thing. Like most people don't ever, consider like donating a kidney. That's, like why don't you just like volunteer or something? Like that's another way of like sort of like giving back. And so I like explained that stuff. I was like expecting questions like that because of course he would ask questions like that. But then he started asking questions I wasn't really prepared for. He was asking about my childhood and stuff. He was asking about, I don't know, like things that were like really unrelated to kidney donation. But I guess they were relevant in that like they spoke to like my coping methods, and sort of like how I deal with disappointment, how I deal with like how I would cope with the like recovery process and beyond after the donation, like when sort of like the donation was finished, like what I feel like let down and stuff, I guess. But they just like, I don't know, he had like a lot of questions, and he interviewed me for an hour and a half. And I thought that it was just going to be like today, just this one day, and then he would go back to the transplant team and they would like discuss things and then determine if I could go on to the next step. But then at the end, he was like, I'd like to meet with you at least one more time. And I was like, what? What do you mean at least one more time? There's a possibility of meeting even more than just one more time? No, I was like, I thought for sure that did I not pass or something or what? And he said like very, very seriously, like, oh no, this isn't a test. It's not something that you can pass or not pass. And I was like, okay, but why do I have to see you another time? And he was like, you're just a quite unique individual. And I was like, what does that mean? So I'm sort of like, if I am not able to donate a kidney, it's not going to be because of medical reasons, I'm sure, even though I haven't like actually started the medical testing yet. And I got past the social worker step already. So if I'm not eligible to donate a kidney, it's going to be because of a psychiatrist. So I don't know. He didn't really like give me any indication of like if I was doing like well or not well, with the interview. He was pretty serious. And he was like, I don't know. I didn't like get a very like friendly vibe from him. And I felt like I had to like, I kept like saying over and over again with like different, different words, different ways of saying it, but I kept telling him like, I used to be very anxious, but I'm not so anxious anymore. Like now, like I'm a bit anxious, but it doesn't really exceed most like normal psychologically healthy people's level of, everyday anxiety. But I kept like having to like tell him that over and over again. I felt like he wasn't he wasn't believing me just because like I have like a really rich psychological history, I guess. And he has like all of the notes from my previous hospitalizations and stuff. So I feel like I really had to like work to convince him that I'm a different person now. But I don't know if he was buying it or not. But it's true. Like I am a really different person now than I used to be. But anyway, that's just an update on how the kidney donation thing is going. So hopefully I'll be able to move on to the next step. But we'll see. Bye.